Welcome to day 2 of Project Eliminate, where I will strive to eliminate clutter in my life, avoid consumerism, and make space for bigger and better things in 2026. Hey guys, my name is AJ. If you guys haven't met me, I am a full-time night shift nurse as well as a bodybuilder, and a big part of what I do is take care of people, keep them healthy. But also the part of that is taking care of myself. And going into this new year is something that I really gave a lot of thought to, because there are a lot of things that I feel like I didn't spend as much time thinking about at the end of last year, and I'm now bringing it into this new year and having kind of a little bit more trouble of moving forward, kind of feeling stuck in just the things that I'm trying to pursue. Right now, I'm trying to be a travel nurse, and with 1 year of experience, it's been pretty hard finding a position, but I've still been keeping in touch with a lot of recruiters. But going back to this Project Eliminate, the three rules to this month is: number one, that I can only buy things out of necessity; number two, that I have to declutter one thing every day; and number three, journal about one experience daily. I kind of want to go backwards today, and starting with a story about a patient that I saw just about a few hours ago. So the story begins with this patient. I come on shift and I learn that this patient has stage 4 cancer, which, for those of you guys who don't know, stage 4 cancer is the last stage of cancer. It's often called metastasizing cancer or terminal cancer, meaning that this cancer is often the one that, it's the one that kills you. It's the one that you end off with, and it's the last stage of cancer. And it's typically when the cancer has pretty much spread from one part of the body to another. And upon hearing this, I realized that this was a really sad situation for one of my patients. Seeing that there's no family around, I talk to the nurse that's giving me a report, and she tells me, well, the family doesn't want the patient to know about the current status of their health. And I go and ask her, what do you mean? Like, he doesn't know he has cancer? What are you talking about? And she goes, yeah, like, the family, it was a kind of an Asian household, and the nurse tells me, yeah, the family doesn't want to know. And it brings to mind this one question, right? And it'll make sense in this in this conversation of Project Eliminate. And it's this idea that, like, if you were gonna die in, say, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, right, 30 days even, would you want to know? And I think that's the question that I couldn't help but feel overwhelmed by today at work. And I was just sitting there for the longest time. Part of me felt like the ethical thing to do was to tell the patient that you had cancer, that you only had so much time left to live. But at the same time, I was battling this idea that the family didn't want the patient to know, and out of respect for the family, I would withhold that information from the patient. And that's just something that weighed really heavily on me, and something that I got to journal, which is the third rule of Project Eliminate. And I got to journal a little bit about this, and I came to realize that you just can't make everyone happy in this world. There's always someone that's not going to agree with you. There's always someone that's not going to completely vibe with what you're feeling, what you're saying, completely agree with your ideals, your ideologies. And as a nurse, going into a field where there's a lot of people, a lot of differing opinions, a lot of family, and emotions are high in the ICU, there's definitely a lot of that going around. And so just reflecting on that experience, I think that, it's a much harder question to answer. And I quite frankly don't have an answer to that question of whether or not, I didn't end up telling that patient that they had stage 4 cancer, out of respect for the family and their cultural beliefs. Maybe allowing the doctor to maybe tell them later, but I just decided that, you know, it wasn't my place to tell someone else's secret. But at the same time, there was unstillness in that, you know, this was about him and he should know this. But anyways, moving into the rest of this, the rest of the project, Eliminate. Today was the first day that I actually made a purchase in 2026. That was buying a plane ticket for somebody else. And at first I thought about it and I was like, is this purchase absolutely necessary? And I think there is something about being generous in the way you spend your money, in the way you spend your time, your resources, that makes something a necessary means to do so. And for me, in my case, it was buying my sister a plane ticket from Washington to back to San Francisco in order to allow her to come home in March, where, you know, we'll be able to hang out, have time with our family. And so I thought that was an essential purchase, just because, you know, it was something that I bought for someone else and it wasn't for me, and it's not like a materialistic item that, you know, would demand more of my time. The last part of this is decluttering one thing daily. And so something that I'm going to be decluttering today is this mint cabinet. I know it's something small, but it's been sitting on my bedstand for a while, and I don't eat mints when I sleep. So I don't know why this has been here, but I'm going to put it in my backpack as soon as this video is over, and that will be today's decluttering. I think this experiment has been going pretty well. It's been interesting to put more time and thought into the things that I'm letting go of, and I'm slowly realizing that letting go of one thing frees up the ability to get and to experience something else. Oftentimes, I think that, you know, the man with the most toys wins at the end of life, but I really don't think that's true. The more I sit in this project, Eliminate, this month of January, I'm realizing more and more that it really does come down to the kind of things that we care about. What exactly is it that we value? What is it exactly that we pour our time into that really make for an experience of life that is much more deeper, fulfilling than just the materialistic things that we hold, you know, the things that we buy, the things that we wear, you know, the superficial things of life. And as I learn to let go of these superficial, seemingly superficial things, I'm finding that the more I'm able to deeply understand the things that really matter, like friendships, like relationships. But that's all I have today. Pretty tired. I do go back into work tonight. So the goal is still to film another video. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys aren't already subscribed, would appreciate if you guys did drop a like, comment down below what is one thing that you are decluttering today. What is something that you have been working through mentally, whether it's something at work or something that you are dealing with your family member. Would love to hear it and respond to you guys in the comments. Love you guys. It's AJ. Take care, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one tomorrow. Peace.